there's one workforce strategy healthcare leaders should focus on in the next 6 months, what would that be for you, Brian?
I think it's, in the day, you should really step back and look at your total costs of everything you're doing, right? Again, labor is, to Jim's earlier point, it's, half or more of the entire cost structure for most providers. Don't just focus on just a wage rate. Think about all the embedded costs related to talent, and that's hiring, training, turnover, base wage, benefits. And if you take all those pieces together and then compare, then you'll build your models where you're really going to get the most cost-effective outcome. And I think those that do that really well, we have some great case studies with partners that really think about their cost in a holistic way. They are usually the ones that are most effective on making sure they are staffed all the time in the right way with the right mix as well.
Yeah, Jim, what's one strategy you think leaders should focus on?
Yeah, and I touched on this a couple times through our discussion today. But to me, the most effective way in keeping labor costs down is we call it position control. So you really can't. If you can't see what you have, you can't manage it. You don't know what your spend is. So to me, position control is the foundation of really labor cost containment system-wide for your workforce decisions. So it tracks your approvals of positions, right, led by a position control committee. It could be a governance committee, right, that helps to support the modeling of core versus contingent mix, aligning those key stakeholders that we've touched on, right? Finance, HR, nursing, operations, TA, and it provides a single source of truth for staffing decisions. So that is the euphoria. That's really where you want to be. It drives the accountability across the departments, and it mitigates those areas where you have duplicity or duplicate roles of travelers and core staff, and also utilizing per diem or float. So being able to focus and have that one system of truth or that one area of truth, right? That helps to mitigate a lot of the costs, as well as we touched on overtime throughout this discussion, right? So unchecked overtime is probably one of the biggest leaky buckets. And so being able to align that based on proper scheduling and proper coverage is where you want to be.
Absolutely. JB, I'm going to let you carry the momentum home here. What's your strategy that leaders should keep in mind for the next 6 months?
Well, I think there's going to be change, right? So I alluded to this before. The last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of change just in the way that we're thinking about the market holistically, our ability to attract talent, the ability to invest in attracting talent, and for talent acquisition and HR leaders, I think really now's the time. So even if you're in an organization that's entered a hiring freeze or is having to kind of tap the brakes, so they can do some position control. You still have attrition on the back end of this thing where you're going to have people leaving the organization. And my fear is here over the next 6 months that logjam builds and builds to where the smaller TA teams that we've already talked about aren't going to be able to address the need. Then we find ourselves kind of back where we were 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So I think right now's the time to begin reaching out. It costs nothing. Reach out and start building strategic relationships with organizations that can come in and help if you need that augmentation. It really doesn't cost anything. So start dialing the phone and see who can help you in the next 6 months.